Welcome back everyone, this is MandoAllDay, back with another video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Build-A-Figure for the Darkest Night. This is from the Speed Metal storyline, so we're going to be taking a look at Kid Flash, Barry Allen, Jay Garrick, and of course Wally West. We're going to be taking a look at each figure in terms of the articulation, sculpture, and paint, and if it's worth the purchase or not. But before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not support channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So let's take a look at each one. We'll start off with Kid Flash. Here's the front of the box looks like. The side. The back. Pretty cool image. The other side. Top. And bottom. Alright, then we have here Barry Allen. This is the front of the box looks like. The side, the back, the other side, top, and bottom. Alright, and then we have here the finally made one. It is Jay Garrick, so the front of the box looks like. The side, the back, the other side, top, and bottom. And last but not least, and the box came really damaged. You guys can see it right here. Look at that damage on that box. I don't know what happened there, but you can see that right there. It's damaged. Hopefully the card looks like it's fine. And the figure looks fine too, even the accessories. But it just came really damaged, so it's not a big deal for me. I was planning on opening it anyways, but you can see that damage right there. So, nonetheless, I just thought it was kind of funny because you can see that right there. But, anyways, the front of the box looks like. The side. The back. The other side. Top. And bottom. Alright, now let's take a look at each figure outside the box with the accessories. As always, they do come with a card, so the front of the card looks like for Kid Flash. The back of the card. Barry Allen, front of the card. The back of the card. Jay Garrick, front of the card. The back of the card. And last but not least, Wally West, front of the card, in the back of the card. The downside is these cards, they have the image of the figure, and I'm not a big fan of that. I prefer like the comic or anything like that, but it is what it is. So in terms of Kid Flash, the accessories are quite a few. Actually, quite a lot. There's a lot of red lightning bolts. So you got one of them here for Kid Flash. I got another one here. I believe is for the torso. And I believe this is for his hand, I think. I'm not too sure. Again, there's quite a few of them. And the two small ones. They're basically identical. Two separate ones. Alright, and then for Barry Allen, same thing. A lot of lightning bolts, a lot of red ones. So here is just another one right there. And quite a few lightning bolts. Another really long one. There we go. And these two other ones that look like identical as well too. And for Jay Garrett, it does have, again, more lightning bolts. So this is just one of them. You can see that right there. And there's there's three of them. The three separately. Again, right there. Lightning bolts. They're clear. And of course, last but definitely not least, you have Wally West. And I'm sure you guessed it by now. More lightning bolts. There's quite a few of them. The cool thing about these lightning bolts, though, you can actually put them in on on the actual figure on the side. You can see that right there. Put it on the side, and there's different sizes. There's small ones, right, and they're clear, which I really like. See the small ones. Another small one, and of course the one you could put in the back of Wally West, the big one. You can actually move it as well too, so you can have it like this, or you can have it, or just straight. And the one for his leg. It comes with the stand right there. And of course, they all come with a regular black stand, and it does come with all the pieces to build the Darkest Knight. So, now that we have that here, again, they all have a lot of accessories, so if you're looking for lightning bolts, just get any one of them, and you have a ton of lightning bolts to put onto your figures. But anyways, now let's take a look at each figure itself, and we'll start off with Kid Flash. And I gotta say though, this is a good looking head sculpture. The head sculpture on Kid Flash looks very cool. I do like the eyes, the gloss on the eyes looks very cool. The hair sculpture is kind of clean looking, plain. I'm not too sure I dig this kind of style of hair. You can see that right there. I don't know if it's like that's supposed to be in the pictures. I think it is. Let me take a look. Because it looks kind of funny, the hair like that line. Yeah, I guess, yeah, that's part of the hair sculpture. But nonetheless, so the face paint looks good, looks clean. The glasses look very cool. I do like that gloss, like I said. Head articulation, left, right. Very stiff, but it's there. Up, down. Very good up, down. But left and right, it's a bit stiff, but it's there. But nonetheless, though, I gotta say that the hair sculpture looks good. I just don't like this hairstyle. Again, that's just my opinion, though. But other than that, it looks good. It looks clean. Shoulder articulation, it's good. Bicep, it's good. Elbow, good. And of course, wrist. There you go. Good. So in terms of the shoulder arm articulation looks good. And I gotta say though, that sculpture on the arm looks very cool, man. I really dig the style right here too. It has a weird textured feel to it. I'm sure, I don't know if my camera can pick it up. There you go, we can see that right there on the shoulder. But then you can see also the tricep right here, this weird line style. And of course, the big highlight is going to be this piece right there, the gauntlet, this is what it's called, I believe. Very clear, very noticeable. You can see that right there. It looks cool, but nonetheless, though, I do like the style of this kind of. I don't know what you would call it, but it has that look to it, that style. It looks very cool. I like it. It gives it that kind of, well, no pun intended, speedster look, very fast, and obviously that's Kid Flash. He's just one of the speedsters. So again, though, the arm articulation is good. The sculpture looks good, and the paint's good. I wish there was a bit more paint on here, but I can understand why it looks like this because there's a lot going on this sculpture, especially that paint, because this is a very bright red, and it looks good though. Torso articulation, it's good, and I gotta say though, this is a very good looking sculpture design. I do like this red right here. Again, it really does pop. It grabs your attention, and what I like about it's very gloss red too, all around, like all this red, very glossy. I wish there was more in the back, but there isn't, unfortunately. But there is some. I like the red lines right here. It looks very good, and that's kind of. It's a very matte look. I wouldn't say matte. It's like a little bit of a shine red right here. This design, not much going on, but there's pieces right here like this, the center, and all these obviously right here. It definitely has that shiny look to it, which looks very cool, even from a distance. And I gotta say though, the upper body of Kid Flash, it looks good, man. I really dig it. I wish there was more in the back though, but nonetheless, so articulation is good. Sculpture designs are cool. The paint is very cool. Or the color of choice is very cool, and I like it. It looks good. I dig it. Let's take a look at that leg. Articulation, good. Knees, good. Ankles, good. And of course, toes, good. So in terms of the lower legs, or lower body, excuse me, again, very clean looking. It's very plain on the legs right here. Just that what is it, that gray or dark gray look to it. But I kind of like that because it gives it an extra style look to it. Because if it was all plain white, it would have looked plain. And even though this is just plain, again, just gray, dark gray, everything else, these red, just really do pop, and I think having that gray there makes that color palette, excuse me, look very, very good, and I really, really dig it. The knee pad's very shiny, has that gloss to it, similar to the glasses, and I like it. This is not gloss, which is, I don't know, it's by design, just looks kind of off, because everything else kind of like a shiny look to it. You see that? And this is just there, so I don't know if it's by design, or maybe it's just the fact that they didn't paint mine, but it just looks weird that's not glossy. Unfortunately, mine does have a little paint chip there. Nothing big or anything, but overall, it looks good. It has that style on here, similar to here. Again, I wish this was also red too, just to have that consistency, but nonetheless, though, it's a good-looking figure. A good-looking Kid Flash figure. It looks cool, man, and the color palette looks really, really good, man. I really dig it, especially that gloss. And so, overall, what do I think about this figure? In my opinion, I think it's a good-looking figure. Is it one of those, like, oh man, you highly have to get this day one? Honestly, no. But I would say definitely pick it up, man. I think for the price of what you're paying for with all the accessories, I think it's worth the purchase price, man. I really dig it. And I think Kid Flash is a worth buy. Is it a rush to go out and get it right away? Like I said, I don't think so. But good-looking figure nonetheless. And it looks good. Now, let's take a look at Barry Allen here. Barry Allen head sculpture looks very, 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 very cool. I do like the eyes, the painted lips look very cool. This head sculpture design, it's a little bit of design right there in terms of the head sculpture. Not much. I do like that, of course, that red right there. It looks clean looking. And I gotta say, that face paint looks good. It looks clean. There you go. You guys can see it much better right there. It looks good. It looks clean looking. The painted lips looks good. Like I said, the eyes look good. Head articulation left to right. It's there, but it's a bit stiff. Up, down. It's good. So, in terms of the sculpture design on the head, it looks good, clean. The paint is... It's good. It's passable. I'll leave it that way. Sorry for the technical difficulties. So, let's take a look at the arms. So, shoulder articulation, it's good. Bicep, good. Elbows, good. And then wrist, good. And I gotta say that in terms of the sculpture design, I really like this kind of look to it. And I don't know, again, I'm not familiar with this storyline, so bear with me, but I don't know if this is supposed to be tatted on or it's just maybe just painted on, but it looks weird because it's skin on paint, and like, I don't know if it's a tattoo or not, but nonetheless, so it looks cool. I like the design of it. I really dig it. Look, there you go. You can see that right there. And it looks cool, man. Like, I do like the whole weird look to it. Again, it looks really odd because I don't know if this is painted or not, but it looks cool even from a distance, and I really, really dig it. But the paint itself, it's a clean looking paint of the red, of obviously the blacks. Torso articulation, very, very well. Very, 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 very good, actually. And I gotta say, though, overall, the upper body, it looks good. I do like all this texture design. Looks very, very cool. It's very simple and clean. Not much going on, especially in the front. I do like this texture design here and on the sides. The Flash logo looks good. It's a really bright white right there, so it really stands out even from a distance, that logo. But nonetheless, though, upper body, it's just a good, clean-looking Flash figure. The paint's good. Articulation's good. Except for the head sculpture's a little stiff, but again, it's just mine. Overall, upper body, gotta say, it's good. Let's take a look at the lower body. Leg articulation, good. Knees, good. Ankles, good. Toes, good. And same style that's on here in terms of the texture, also present on the thighs, a little bit on the legs right here too. I do like these knee pads. These knee pads look very, very cool. Has a little spikes on there. Very subtle, but it looks very cool. You can see the knee pads. Very, very cool. I do like the paint here on the red. And overall, the lower body, it looks good. I do like, again, I like the consistency of the style onto the legs. And of course, the boots have this weird look to it. It looks clean, though. I gotta say, it's a good-looking lower body. For a Flash, I really, really dig it. And the red does pop really, really well. And I wish this red was more like a gloss to it, similar to Kid Flash. I think it would have looked better on here because it would have popped more. But nonetheless, though, it's a good looking figure, man. I really dig this figure. And of course, the main question is this worth your purchase? I feel like I have the same feeling to this figure of what I did with Kid Flash, which is it looks good. I think it's worth the purchase price, but is it one of those figures you have to go out and get it right away? In my honest opinion, no, I don't think so. It's a cool looking figure. I like it. Don't get me wrong, but it's missing that something that makes me go, man, I need to get this figure. Hope that makes sense. Now the next one, this is the one I was really looking forward to get because this says so much going on, but we'll talk about it. So right away, that helmet looks really cool. It has a bright silver to it, and of course it has that yellow look to it, that paint, or some people call it mustard paint. I like it. I like how the silver has a shiny glitter look to it, but yet the yellow, or that mustard color, is very matte, and again it blends in very well, and it pops very, very well. Head articulation, very good. Up, down, very good. And again, that flash paint. Again, I don't know if it's maybe by, correct me if I'm wrong, please let me know in the comment section. And the speed metal, is that supposed to be like paint or is it like tattooed? Let me know, because it looks cool though. Similar to Barry Allen. But the head sculpture looks very, very, very cool. I really dig the head sculpture, the paint on his lips, the paint from his, his neck all the way up to his face, and obviously to the hat. It looks very, very cool looking, man. I really dig this Jay Garrick head sculpture. Arm articulation, it's good. Shoulders, good. Bicep, good. Elbows, good. And of course, wrist, good. And so in terms of the arm articulation, it looks very, very, articulation is very good. The sculpture design, it looks weird, but it works in a way. So I think what they were trying to do is he has a red shirt, and this just, how can I put it? The shoulder pieces just look off. See that? It just looks off. I wish they had maybe paint on here, red, and obviously like a cutoff shirt, but it just looks off. I don't know why, but it just looks off. But it still looks good though. Like, I like the gauntlets here. I do like that bright silver look to it, similar to the hat. Also present on the gauntlets. Again, that sculpture design looks very, very cool. And of course, the red gloves. But nonetheless, the arm looks very good. Torso articulation, it's there, it's good. The jacket, you can see more of the jacket. And you can see more of that flash right there. It looks very, very cool looking. And the back of the jacket here, clean looking, not much going on. And I really like Jay Garrick. I like the upper body, but the one thing I have to fault it is the shoulder. This piece is right here. It just doesn't look right. If that makes sense. Leave it in the comment section below. It looks like this part was someone ripped his shoulder skin, and you can see the meat. It's underneath the skin. It just looks. It doesn't look bad. It just something's off about it. But it looks cool though, because there's so much going on. Like, it grabs your attention even from a distance. This is one of those figures. There's so much going on, it just hooks your attention. Like, compared to the other figures, again, there's just so much going on and it grabs your attention. But nonetheless, so I like it. I'm glad they made a Jay Garrick. I hope they make an original Jay Garrick figure. That would be really, really, really cool. But as far as for this one, I think it looks cool. The only thing I really have is just this piece right here. It just looks kind of weird to me. Leg articulation, it's good. Knees, good. Ankles, good. Toes, good. So, in terms of the leg design, there's not much going on in terms of the leg. It has that jean kind of material feel to it. If you can see that right there, you can see that. It has a weird look to it, but the knees look very cool with that shiny, bright silver. And of course, the spikes look really, really cool. Same kind of style as on the gauntlets. Also on the boots as well, too. Very, very cool. And again, that bright silver look to it. And of course, the feet have this weird kind of textured material feel to it. There you go. You can see it right there. Has a weird look to it and feel to it. But nonetheless, so this figure itself looks cool. I do like the chains on here. Again, very, very cool looking, man. Again, this is one of those like figures where It looks weird, but it looks cool because there's so much going on with it. You got the spikes, chain, the paint on his face, the helmet. So much going on with this figure, but in a way, it just really looks really cool. And for being like a whole DC's metals, it works in a weird way. And of course, the main question is, would I recommend this one? And in my opinion, I think this is highly recommend getting this one. Is this day one purchase? Probably not, but compared to of these two so far, of Kid Flash and Barry Allen, this is probably my pick. It looks very, very cool, man. I think this one might sell more, and also the next figure as well, too. Alright, let me put him in the stand right here. And last but not least, of course, we have Wally West. Now, this looks identical to the previous one. I said previous one because there was a Walmart exclusive one. I have a link to it, and I could not find it. I was trying to find it, and I don't know where I put it, so I might have just given it away or something. But I wanted to compare the two. But from the looks of it, it pretty much looks identical. The main difference is going to be the paint, but nonetheless, I'll go over it with you guys for this if you guys have not seen the other video. But the head sculpture looks very, 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 very cool looking. The face paint looks very, very good. The eyes look good. The painted on the lips look good. The sculpture on the hair looks good too. Look at all that. And the paint looks good too. And of course, the silver paint looks very, very, very good. Head articulation, good. Up, down, good. So I gotta say though, Wally West looks very good. In terms of the head sculpture, it's good. And that bright blue paint looks really, really, really cool, man. I really, really dig it. Shoulder articulation, it's a little stiff, but it's there. See that? Bicep, good. Elbows, good. And of course, wrist, good. There we go. So, overall, in terms of the arm articulation, it's good. The main highlight of it is going to be that paint. Because that paint looks very, very, very cool. Especially on the gauntlet. You can see that silver right here. Looks very... There you go. There you go. Much better. You can see that bright silver right there. And that dark blue looks very, very good. It really stands out. And compared this one to the other Walmart exclusive, personally, I think I like this one much better. You can definitely see more of that texture design to it too. And again, it looks very, very, very cool. Torso articulation, very good. And I gotta say though, this one looks much better compared to the Walmart one. Walmart one looks good, but just that color change, that bright silver here, the Flash logo, and of course the light blue on the upper body, you can really see more of his muscle tone, the actual texture design here, also on the shoulders, triceps, and of course the back, and it just looks very, very good, man. Wally West is a standout, another standout figure on this line, in my opinion. Let's take a look at the legs, lower body. Leg articulation's good, knees, good, ankles, good, toes, good, and I gotta say though, just like the upper body, the legs look very good too. You got that texture design that's here, also present on the thighs. A lot of leg definition. The boots look cool too. I do like that bright silver. Again, it's the little things like this make a huge difference. Little things like that bright silver really does pop even from a distance. And like I said, in my opinion, I think this is a better looking figure than the Walmart exclusive. Because again, those subtle silvers and blues, it just looks so good and it just pops and it grabs your attention, especially right there on his head. And I gotta say though, this is a fantastic Wally West. And of course, the main question is, would I recommend getting Wally West? Absolutely. This is another fantastic looking figure. I really, 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 really like it. The head sculpture looks good. That bright silver and that light blue and the dark blues blend so well. It just looks good, man. It looks better than the other one, in my opinion, of course. And again, I really, really like this figure. And of course, the main question, would I recommend it? Absolutely getting him. My recommendation about all these four is these two. But if I had to choose between Jay Garrick or Wally West, I'm gonna just go for my personal preference, Wally West, because of the blues. That blues and silver look very, very cool. Don't get me wrong, I like Jay Garrick because there's a lot going on and it's the first figure. But in terms of the whole complete package of the colors blending in well, I think Wally West nails it, in my opinion. But regardless, though, they both look good, though, in terms of Jake Garrick and Wally West. Now, when you get all these figures, you build, of course, the Build-A-Figure, which is the Darkest Knight. And this is one weird-looking Build-A-Figure, but it's actually pretty darn tall. Look at this. This is pretty tall, and I'll compare it to other figures, but this is one weird-looking Build-A-Figure, but hey, it is what it is. So let's take a look at it, and the head sculpture looks really cool, and you can close the mouth, open it, but just look at all that detail. Look at that. The sculpture design. Very cool. And I like that weird kind of clear look to it. It's like a little bit of the blacks. You can see that right there. You can see through it a little bit of blacks as like a purple, like grape look to it. Like grape color, excuse me, to it. But it looks very cool. The detail on the inside of the mouth. The yellow outline. And again, I said it before, I will say it again. White eyes. So when you have white eyes and a yellow outline, it really does pop, even from a distance. But what I like about it is that detail on the head sculpture. Head articulation is very good. Up, down, very, very good. It's a weird looking Build-A-Figure, but it works. Because again, I read some of the medals, like Dark Knight's medal and stuff. It's a weird storyline and everything, but it looks so cool because you get some weird looking stuff. Shoulder articulation, good. Bicep articulation's good. Elbows, good. Wrist, there you go, good. But just look at all this sculpture. And again, the mixture of like the clear, like dark purples with black. It just looks so weird. But it also looks so cool. It's one of those things where you look at this and you'd be like, you know what? McFarlane wouldn't make this. Like, this is something up his alley. It just looks so... Just look at all that. Just look at all that. Look at all that detail, that sculpture. Torso articulation. It has a hunchback similar to Joker Titan. So you can't really go all the way back. But you can really bend it forward. Just keep that in mind. And again, you get that purples here. There you go. You get a little bit of like that dark purple. You get that black on here too. It looks very cool, but just look at all that detail. That sculpture design. Let's take a look at the back. More of that sculpture design. Again, I'm not familiar with this character, so bear with me, but it looks like it's just flames on here. And you can see a little bit of that bone right there. Very, very cool looking, man. Very cool looking Build-A-Figure, but also weird looking. And even though it looks weird, I really dig it. I like how you can close it and open it. Very cool. You can also have it side eyes. Again, just look at that. It looks creepy. Look at that. Very, very cool though, nonetheless. Leg articulation. It's good. Knees, you can't really bend them too much forward, but you can articulate. There you go. And of course, ankles. Mine, they articulate, but just a little stiff. And of course, even the toes. And again, just that weird sculpture design that's under upper body is also present on the legs. Just look at all that detail. It is a weird looking sculpture, Build-A-Figure, but it looks cool and it just grabs your attention. Even on the feet too, just you can see that right there. It's just so weird looking, but it's also so really cool, man. Again, this is one weird looking. You can see more of the back there, more of that sculpture design. I really like this Build-A-Figure, but it is weird looking. It just looks so weird, man. I really dig it. Let me see if I can put him on there. He's probably gonna fall. There we go. Perfect. But to answer the question, in terms of getting all of them, is it worth your purchase price? Getting the whole entire set? In my honest opinion, I would say maybe wait for a sale. Like, don't get me wrong. This is a very cool looking Build-A-Figure. You get a cool looking Wally West, or better version of Wally West, and of course you get Jay Garrick. But if I'm going to be honest, I don't think this. For me, I think this is more of like a wait on sale. So instead of paying $25 each, maybe get it for like $90, which I wouldn't be surprised that might happen. Because to me, out of all this whole entire thing, The main highlight, of course, is going to be that Build-A-Figure, which is weird looking, but I don't see any of these figures, especially these two, selling out or people really going out there to get them. Don't get me wrong, if you like them, hey, more power to you, get them. But to me, again, this is my personal opinion, I don't think this might sell too well. These might, because they look cool, grab your attention. So, if anything, maybe wait for a sale for these, go for like $90 for the whole set. I think that would be a better deal. But regardless, though, it's a cool set, cool Build-A-Figure wave. But is it day one purchase? In my honest opinion, no. I would say maybe wait for a sale, like I mentioned. But nonetheless, though, I like it. Really cool Build-A-Figure. And onto that, let's actually, since this is all a Speedsters Build-A-Figure, I figured, you know what, let's compare it to other Speedsters within the DC Multiverse. Here we got Mr. Dark, what's his name? Dark Flash. So we got Dark Flash here. And of course, next to Wally West, you can see a comparison to, again, almost the same height. Again, that black and purple and that gold looks so good. Even in comparison here to Wally West, Jay Garrick looks very cool. But again, that Dark Flash looks very cool looking. Then we have here Kid Flash. It's a bit shorter. I wish he was a bit shorter. I don't know why he's almost the same height as others, but wish he was a little shorter. But nonetheless, so it looks cool. And of course, Barry Allen on here, just for comparisons. Now let's bring out another Speedster here. Mr. Godspeed. He looks really cool, man. I really like this one. And of course, let's do a comparison with Jay Garrick here. Come on, Speedsters here. Very cool look. It's a great addition. Like, don't get me wrong. Even though I said I didn't really like these two, and also, you know, some issues with Jay Garrick, but it's cool having more Speedsters within the DC Multiverse. It just looks really cool, man. I really like this. Let's take a look at Barry Allen here against some other Speedsters here. There we go. Just for comparison's sake. And of course, last but not least, let's put these two to the side. We have here a very nemesis enemy here. We have here Reversed Flash. There you go. We got more of a Speedsters family. So we have here Barry Allen, Kid Flash, Dark Flash, Reverse Flash, Jay Garrick, Wally West, Godspeed, and then we have some big hideous looking thing in the back. But again, the Speedsters DC Multiverse is growing, and I'm in it. I'm 100% in it, man. I really like this whole entire Speedsters figures. They all look cool. I mean, some are better than the others, but they all look cool. Just look at this. Tell me that don't look really dope. I think it looks very cool in my opinion. Now, so this is a Build-A-Figure. You know what? Let's do a comparison to another Build-A-Figure. Oh yeah, right there. We're gonna do a comparison to. Let me push it back a little bit. There you go. Don't fall. Just so you can see size comparisons. This thing is tall, man. It's just so weird looking. But there you go. We have here Solomon Grundy from the Arkham City Build-A-Figure wave, and then we have this big old dark. What is it called? Darkest Night Build-A-Figure. The size difference. Look at the tall. Now let's do another comparison to. Oh yeah, Atrocitus. Just look at the size comparison. Look at this. Just so good looking, and of course. And he's still taller. The Darkest Night is still taller. Not a whole. I mean, yeah, not a lot. I wish you can extend the legs. That would be really cool. And I don't think they extend. I think this is it. If they can extend the legs, that would be much taller. But look at the size difference. Look at that. Of course, since we're talking about size difference, Joker Titan. You can't mess with Joker Titan, the undefeated champion, versus. Of course, if I can get them on here. Oh, yeah. Nope. Unfortunately, my camera... Let me see if I can put them side by side and they don't fall. Okay. Please don't fall. Yeah, not even close. Not even close. Alright, so for size, I'm sorry for the technical difficulties, but here we are. We have Joker Titan here, and then we have Darkest Night. So Dark Knight is still shorter, and of course Joker Titan is still the king of height in terms of mega fig, so you can see that right there. But yeah, Joker is still going to be champion. I think McFarlane set the bar so high for a mega fig that I don't think there's been any other mega fig that can, you know, in terms of height difference, can be taller than Joker and Titan. But nonetheless, though, there you go for comparison's sake. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree on these figures? Do you plan on purchasing these figures? Or did you already purchase these figures? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not support channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So it includes an overview of the Darkest Knight Build-A-Figure wave. This is for the Speed Metal Dark storyline, and on to the next one.